So I knew at that time when I was 8, I wanted to be an entertainer, and I loved the idea of that and what it meant. And when I was 8, I saw Indiana Jones for the first time, and I loved that character. Like, wow, that guy was so heroic, and he kicked ass, and I knew I wanted to be something, and it was important to me to be something. It was important to me that I didn't fail. But by the way, and if I did fail, at least what was also important was the lesson. And I didn't realize that until I got older, because when you're in it, you're in the grind, you don't really recognize those things when you're younger, but I could recognize them now and the importance of them now. And just in terms of the drive and the determination, a lot of it was experience too. Get your ass kicked, you get back up, and you put the gloves back on and you swing away. Failing has become critical in my growth. I graduated from the University of Miami. I had a terrible senior year. I had a bad injury. You only get one shot as a senior. You don't come back. And Warren Sapp came in and lit the world on fire with how he played. We pushed each other. We were partners. He outplayed me, beat me out of my position. And I had a really terrible year that year. Graduated, didn't get invited to the combine, the NFL combine, and I didn't get drafted in the NFL. And I had one option, and that option was the CFL. So now you work so hard for 10 years, and draft day comes. You only get one shot. Warren Sapp gets taken in the first round. All my other teammates who are NFL worthy were gone. They're in the NFL signing their big contracts. And I signed a contract in the CFL to make $350 a week Canadian. That lasted for 3 months, and I got cut. And I got sent back home, and I had to move back in with my parents at 24 years old after I left at 18, ready to tackle the world, and in my way I did. But I had fallen so flat on my face for the first time in my life. I was depressed, asking myself, why? Why me? How can this happen? I worked so hard. Hard work pays, I always thought. It's not paying for me. I got nothing. I literally had $7 in my pocket, so my $7 story. That failure. Rising from that to say, it's not over for me. I'm immediately going to launch myself into training for professional wrestling. I couldn't have launched myself with that type of training that I did every day for hours in a boxing ring that was stiff like concrete. Every day for hours. I couldn't have launched myself with that type of mentality had I not fallen on my face after 10 years of football. Failed. A failed football player who wound up moving back in with his parents at 24.
After about a month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, "Hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back." I said, "Okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it." He said, "Okay, great." I hung up the phone, and my dad said, "You're going to do it, right?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm done with that." And he goes, "What?" I said, "My gut tells me I'm done." He said, "What are you going to do?" I took a deep breath. I said, "I'd like to get into the business." He said, "What business?" I said, "The wrestling business." He said, "You are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make." He said, "You're ruining your career." He said, "Maybe I'll be no good, but I feel like in my heart I have to do this."
Playing in the NFL was the best thing that never happened because it got me here. So my point is, look, you're going to get your ass kicked. We're going to get the shit kicked out of us. You got to get up. You got to have faith that the one thing you wanted to happen oftentimes is the best thing that never happened. So have faith. Just keep that in mind and keep plugging away. I want to share a sentiment with you that I just heard from a very good friend of mine. His name is Phil Heath. We always talk about hunger and how you always want to outwork your competition regardless of how successful you may be lucky enough to be. You want to be hungry. If you know what it's like to be hungry, you'll never be full. He said it's one thing to be hungry, it's another thing when you're starving for greatness and starving for success. And I love that because it immediately clicked. It's in my DNA. I know what it's like to operate every single day, regardless of the success that I've been a lucky son of a bitch to achieve. I operate every day as if I'm starving. So when I got cut from Canada, I had $7 in my pocket. And I always tell that story. So now my production company is $7, advertising agency is $7, everything is $7. So I always remember that. What helps me is to keep the hard times in the front of my mind, because it allows me to go into these big moments that I've worked my ass off with a different perspective. What it also does for me, and again, this is what works for me. Like, I keep my back, excuse my language, my back is up against this motherfucker. Every day, it's against this fucking wall. Excuse my language. But it's up against this motherfucker because it's what I believe in. And when my back is against this motherfucker, then there's nowhere to go. But that way. That's it. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. That on the other side of your pain is something good.